Okay, this is going to be my attempt at making a small radio controlled boat that I can use to take a fishing line out past the breakers. I had a contact eel, I still have it, but I just get really sick of carting all the gear out and baiting out 25 hooks and it's just a big deal. It works really well, but there's a lot of time that goes into putting it out for the half hour or hour or so, or whatever you need, and the last few trips I've done all that work and got nothing. So this is something where I hope that I can build and just put under my arm and take down to the beach and then put it straight out off the end of a fishing line, and maybe put 2 or 3, 5 hooks on it or whatever. Probably 2 is going to be enough. And so but what anyway, I've started off doing is made just a wooden box, and I've put fiberglass around the edge of it, and I've got a couple of servos. Now I bought this set off Trade Me for $70 I think I paid for it. It's one of those old school ones. I don't know too much about it at all, but it still works. It's brand new, and look at the price that was on it. I'll take my hand away. $545 it cost someone. I got it for $70 anyway, with 4 servos and all the gear. That's the receiver. Anyway, so I have a box that I've put in 2 servos so far. This one here is going to be for the steering, that'll go through to the rudder. So I've got one more servo to go in the middle here yet, and that's for controlling the speed of the motors. I bought 2 of these motors. I actually got these off eBay, these ones. They come from China, I think. These are submersible motors, so all it is attaching to the bottom of the craft and wiring it up, and away you go. There's no mucking around. We're trying to make it waterproof. Just a slightly better look at the mechanism for the rudder, and that there just fits onto the end of the solid piece that goes down into the tube, and with just a grub screw, and on top of that I can put a little hole to put the wire from the servo in, and then that there is just like a piece of copper wire that I have flattened out to make a washer here, and solder it on, and then that whole thing pushes down into the area where the rudder will go and turn nice and easily once I get a rod going across there. That way I can take this off and then pull the whole rudder mechanism out from underneath if I need to. And this piece of wood here is also just screwed in and not glued, so that I can take that out if I need to get the servo out. Okay, so I've gone away from the idea of using a piece of PVC drain pipe for the actual vessel to put the radio gear in, because even though it saved time building something, it might have made it a bit easier. It proposed quite a few other problems getting things to work. I've just designed a vessel. It's not attractive, it's not good looking, it's built for purpose. I call it the Slug Tug Barge. And as you can see, this is where this will go inside there. And that's the front of it there. And this is the cross section frames. And just cut out a loose keel that fits onto it like that. These cross sections I'll check them out and fit them along there, and the back one, the transom of course, and there'll be a couple in there, but you'll see as we go. What I did was I had some flat timber which I milled down really thin in the planer, which makes it a lot easier, and hopefully some nice long pieces that I'll be able to bend around to form the shape of the boat. Another really handy thing too is the faceplate sander. These parts here are the bits that will go like that. Goes like that. These parts here are the bits that'll go, I'll glue them together, but they need to have that cut out for the box to fit inside. And then I've got 3 solid ones. I leave them solid just for purpose of strength. But and it's really accurate. You can see the pen lines there. I can stand right close to them and make them all exactly the same. So I'll just give you a quick demo if I can do it one-handed. I have a spare one here, which I'll just show you what I mean. I'll try and do it one-handed, so. An old motor that I just got a V-belt thing and put a piece of mica on the front, like a wood, and we just put a chisel on and made it nice and round and so Okay, here it is with some of the basic frame put together. You can see the keel going along there, and I've got the solid part at the front, and just check these out a little bit over the keel. These here, so that they go over the keel, and then sunk them all down and just glued in with a PVA glue. Hopefully they'll all be, if you can see, they all sort of line up nice and straight and along this way as well. A bit hard to see there, but they're lining up pretty good. And also I've glued these on there because you can't have the cross going just on that thin piece there. It'll break, so you have to have long grain and make those one. That cavity there is where all the radio gear is going to sit, and hopefully in a nice waterproof area. Yeah, pretty easy, just time consuming. And the only other thing I found out about milling, normally most modelers use balsa wood, but I've decided to use pine because it's a bit stronger. When you mill it down this thin I mean, it tends to bow a little bit, and you might be able to see that on the front of this. It's just ever so slightly bowed, but we can straighten that out as we go. And once we've done put the stringers on, which will go around the edge there, and I'll just have them coming right at the front and bend them round naturally and work out what size these two are going to be, these two frames in here and here. Yeah.